Hey guys, it's Redman here, and today we are going to be talking about the Battlefield Hardline beta. Can the game stand on its own? Is it just a Battlefield 4 reskin? We're going to discuss all this right now. So, the Hardline beta ended yesterday after being live for a week, and I was able to spend an extensive amount of time in the beta checking out all it had to offer. I came into the beta very hesitant. During the last beta back in June of last year, the game was very buggy and was, for a lack of a better term, a Battlefield 4 reskin. There was so much community outcry that EA and Visual decided to listen to player feedback and delay the game by 3 months. And I'm glad they did, because you can tell the game has had a significant makeover.
Suspect neutralized.
For the most part, the beta was very polished and relatively bug-free, but let's not be so quick to forget that the Battlefield 4 beta was very polished as well, and we all know how that game turned out. So, in terms of gameplay, this is the furthest EA has taken the Battlefield franchise by branching out away from a military shooter and instead opting for a cops and robbers theme. And this isn't a mere reskin. The way many aspects of the game now work has changed due to it. It wouldn't make much sense for a cop to bring an RPG to a gunfight, now would it? In previous Battlefield games, engineers would have access to RPGs. However, in the Hardline beta, this isn't the case. RPGs are spawned in various locations around the map, along with new weapons such as ziplines and grappling hooks. Jets are absent from the game as well. Instead, players must rely on helicopters for their aerial battles. However, for all that Visual has done to keep the cops and robbers feel, there are some things that are kept in the game from traditional Battlefield games, such as parachutes for all players. One of my favorite changes in Hardline is the removal of a weapons progression system. Instead of having to grind your way up to the weapon you want, you are instead rewarded with cash each match for completing certain objectives. This cash can then be spent on weapon unlocks or attachments. This system allows players to unlock the items they want in the order they want rather than grinding through 10 weapons just to get the item they actually need. One of the main things Battlefield 4 still suffers from is its netcode, and while it's not quite perfect, the netcode in Hardline is far superior to that of Battlefield 4. Hardline introduces 2 new game modes, Hotwire and Heist. Hotwire is my personal favorite out of the two. In this game mode, players race to take control of cars and drive them around the map as fast as they can while the enemy team tries to destroy or take over the cars. This leads to awesome car chases with people hanging out the windows engaging in a firefight with other moving vehicles. The other new game mode, Heist, is in my opinion a Battlefield take on the Payday franchise. The robber team tries to break into the bank vault, steal cash, and deliver the cash to the drop-off point, while the cops try to defend the bags of cash and stop the robbers from getting the cash to their drop-off point. So, we've talked a lot about the good things about the beta so far, but now let's discuss some of the issues and concerns I have. As I mentioned above, weapons balancing is still an issue. This is to be expected as the game is, after all, in beta. Several times I would find myself running towards a point and dying for no reason. The game would not show who killed me, and I would never hear a shot being fired at me. I also ran into a bug quite a lot where a player model would show the player to be facing away from me, and then in a flash the model would update to show the player facing me and gunning me down. One time, a player was invisible with only their gun hovering in the air. This made it nearly impossible to land a hit on them. Another issue I have is that the cars do not handle realistically at all. They oftentimes don't feel like they are attached to the ground and are jittery. That point right there brings me to my main concern. All of these issues I've mentioned above are most likely because of the Frostbite's limitation, particularly the car handling. EA has a lot riding on the Frostbite 3 engine. With other games in development like Star Wars Battlefront, it makes me worried about their future. A game like Battlefront, which is very vehicle reliant, needs a solid engine to run on. And I haven't seen that in either of the past 2 games I played that run off of the Frostbite 3 engine. However, I can only hope that these issues are simply issues with the developers and not with the engine itself. Although Visual has taken Battlefield in a new direction, this game is still a Battlefield experience through and through. Returning players will feel right at home with this game, while still having a refreshing new atmosphere. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to run out and pre-order this game. In fact, I suggest you wait until the game releases and read the reviews. However, the beta has put this game on my radar for potential buys. If Visceral can fix the few bugs that stand out before launch, This will most certainly be a solid addition to the Battlefield franchise. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the beta in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.